Barcelona plan a spending spree. Spurs captain fears the axe. Inter Milan set a massive price tag on their star striker. We got a transfer roundup and today's Emoji Mondays all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host, Matt Froelich. You are the Onefootballers and this is the Daily News. So first up, and to Barcelona, who are week by week are just getting by, and somehow Ernesto Valverde is still in a job. Whether he will be at the end of the season remains to be seen, but in the summer apparently they are planning a massive spending spree. This is to get them back up to scratch with Europe's elite and hopefully bring them back to the Champions League trophy. Well, I say hopefully from a Barcelona fan's point of view. So who are these three mystery names? Well, I can say now one of them definitely isn't Neymar. Apparently it's too much to bring him back to the new camp, and after all the nonsense over the summer with PSG, it doesn't look like he'll be coming back anytime soon. No, the first of these three names is Joshua Kimmich. The Bayern Munich midfielder literally has it all. He's an upgrade on Sergio Roberto and pretty much an upgrade on every defender and midfielder that Barcelona currently have. He could definitely bring a lot to the new camp. Second on the list then is another centre-back, Nikola Milenkovic from Fiorentina. Now there was a lot of interest in him from Manchester United a few years ago, just after he signed for Fiorentina, but nothing really came of it, as what happens normally with Manchester United transfers. So it looks like Barcelona are looking to bring the Serbian in because Gerard Piqué's announced he'll be retiring in the next few years and looks to be heading just a little bit downhill. Samuel Umtiti, as we mentioned before, is never not linked with a move away from the new camp, so that really leaves Longley and Todibo, who hasn't really got many chances in the first team. Along with this though, there is a third name which they could be bringing in, and that is either Inter Milan's Lautaro Martinez or Arsenal's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now the problem is both of them are going to cost a hell of a lot of money. In fact, so will every single name on this list, so they may have to raise some funds in order to buy them. That is where Philippe Coutinho comes in. His loan deal to Bayern Munich sees a release clause around 120 million euros. It's unsure whether or not Bayern are going to pay it, but if he does have a good season, and they do, this will free up a lot more money for Barcelona. We all know that if they go ahead and buy someone like Neymar, it's going to pretty much use up their whole budget, so they probably don't have any money to go and buy someone else, which is why the other three are more than likely to come in. Aubameyang hasn't signed a new deal at Arsenal ahead of potential talks with Barcelona, and also Lautaro Martinez, well, he's actually only recently moved to Inter Milan, but he's doing such a good job that Barca want him anyway. But moving on, and to talk of Tottenham's captain worried about leaving the club. The club captain at the moment is, of course, Hugo Lloris, and under new manager Jose Mourinho, the French World Cup winner has apparently told friends he doesn't think he's going to be needed at the club much longer. That's because Mourinho is going to want a new number one to usher in a new era at Spurs, and because Lloris was so well tied to Mauricio Pochettino, they'll probably go wherever Pochettino goes next. At the moment, Gazaniga is number one, and he did concede 2 goals at the weekend as Mourinho got off to a winning start with Spurs. They played fantastically to go 3-0 up, but there were still the defensive areas which have plagued Spurs all season, and that really is something for Mourinho to work on. They conceded 2 late goals, as I mentioned, and the result finished 3-2. What it does mean though is that Harry Kane is looking forward to an exciting future at Spurs, but he said only if they can match his ambitions. He thinks under Mourinho they can now win titles because Mourinho is a winner, and this season realistically they've only got the FA Cup and the Champions League to fight for. They're way too far behind in the Premier League, and they've obviously been knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Colchester. But talking of big strikers, and moving on to Gabigol, that is Gabriel Barbosa, who wrote his name into Flamengo folklore over the weekend in one of the most ridiculous Copa Libertadores finals you're ever gonna see. River Plate, last year's defending champions, went 1-0 up before Gabigol scored an equaliser in the 89th minute and the 92nd minute winner. But things weren't done there yet. He then got sent off in the 95th minute for sarcastically applauding the referee. That literally is the most epic finish to a final. But of all this talk of transfer, it's important to remember he's still actually an Inter Milan player. So they bought him from Santos after a few good seasons in Brazil, after a few loans, decided it wasn't really that good, and he's gone back to Brazil with Flamengo. This season, he's had a 40-goal season, which is incredible, and so Inter Milan have upped their asking price from around 16 million euros to 40 million euros. My question is, why are they even considering selling him? Yes, things didn't go so well when he originally first moved over, but since then he's clearly proven himself to be a top goal scorer, and maybe more football is exactly what he needed. And linking back to the first story in today's Daily News, if Inter Milan go and sell Lautaro Martinez, for example, to Barcelona, they're going to need another striker to fight with Romelu Lukaku for the starting spot, or even play alongside Lukaku. So why would a Barbosa fit the bill? If they're going to charge around 40 million euros, that's a lot of money for a Serie A team, but not really for a Premier League team. The likes of West Ham are spending 40 to 45 million on Sebastian Haller. That's worked out okay, but it just shows you the kind of money that loads of teams in the Premier League have, and I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 of them, or maybe even more, looking at Barbosa for around the 40 million euro mark. So next up, we come to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, and it's very manager heavy. But first off, Kylian Mbappe is reportedly set to open contract talks with PSG in the next few days. Elsewhere though, Eden Hazard wants Mbappe to join him at the Bernabeu within the next few years. If Marco Silva is sacked to Everton, David Moyes, the former Everton manager, could be a replacement, and if Unai Emery is to leave the Emirates, both Max Allegri and Mikel Arteta have been talked about to take over the Spaniard's position. Up next though, and to the look back on your Friday feels, where you guys left your footballing predictions in the comment section on Friday's Daily News. First off, from Prince Bandari, guessed that Flamengo would win 2-1 against River Plate, which they did to seal the Copa Libertadores title. Rafayette Hossein Rafat guessed that Leicester would take a 2-0 victory away from the Amex Stadium at Brighton, which they did. Khaled Abu Omar guessed that Barcelona would win 2-1 against Leganés, which of course happened as well. So Emoji Mondays is here. This is where we throw a couple of emojis over some of the weekend's football action. First off, we got the best player, and for me this weekend, it's Chris Smalling. 2 assists, a goal and a clean sheet for Roma. It doesn't get much better than that. The crazy moment of this weekend is Robert Lewandowski not scoring for Bayern. That's how good he is. It's mental when he doesn't score. This is the first League or Champions League game this season in which the Polish striker hasn't found the back of the net. And the last one for the best result is Mainz in Germany, who were in the relegation playoff place at the beginning of the weekend against European chasing Hoffenheim. They went down to 10 men away from home and still managed to win 5-1. That is an incredible result. So that's all from me for today. Let me know your Emoji Mondays down in the comment section below and your thoughts on the rest of today's daily news. Whilst you're there, you can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I will see you guys later.